I think for musicians to listen to folk is a very important thing. It's a very, very important thing. And other people might just differ from this particular opinion, but folk is something which I think everybody should hear. And everybody should hear as much music as possible, rather than being trapped in one particular hole, you know.
Which is the first guitar you ever had?
My brother's guitar. It was a guitar that my father got from Bombay for him. If I can call that my guitar, because it was my brother's guitar. Then my first guitar was actually gifted to me by my father. He had gone to Czechoslovakia. In those days, Czechoslovakia was there before it got to broken down into 3 or 4 different countries. So it came, it was a beautiful guitar. It was a classical guitar, but it came fitted with steel strings.
Steel strings?
Steel strings. But it was later on, I did not have any idea about what guitars are all about. So with Delhi weather, it warped within a year's time. It had a beautiful sound. Then my next guitar was actually gifted again by my parents. I remember my mother went to a particular shop and it was a second-hand guitar, and it was a lefty's guitar. Okay. It was a Ibanez. And I bought that. That was in, I'll tell you, that was 1981. Now, 85, I got my, I would say, the first professional kind of guitar. That was a Martin. And so I had bought that, and then came a series of other guitars. Now all those guitars are from the Martin. All the guitars are at home.
And now there are series of guitars that are named after you.
That's right. How do you know about that?
So why would they do that? What do you know about it?
It is quite interesting that out here in India, where I am almost not considered a guitar player, an American gentleman had to come and say that I want to make a guitar for you, and he's a master luthier. So it's a paradox. I laugh at it.
I want to know about it. I want to know, how did that happen?
Because before that, a lot of other companies like Fender had approached me, Gibson had approached me to endorse their guitars. They would have given me their guitars for free. But I was not liking. I mean, there are certain aspects of my playing. So when this person came and said that I want to make a guitar, and he first couple of days he just studied the way I play, how I sit, what are my postures, and all those kind of things, and 200 questions that he had asked me, and then he went and made this guitar for me. And it is one of the finest pieces that you can see in the world.
It's been made for you.
Yeah.
Made for you.
Absolutely. Exclusively. By a master luthier.
Oh my God.
So
in a country where you're not even recognized, so to say. Is that guitar available for other people, or it's a one piece made?
Well, unfortunately, that company does not exist anymore. I mean, he was the guy who actually got India in the global map that we are one of the leading guitar manufacturers.
India?
Because of him.
Because of him.
He was calling his country Dehradun Guitar Company.
Yeah.
That's gone.
It's gone over.
Nobody can even dream of making such guitars in India at this point in time. There are some good luthiers, but nowhere close to that.
When you hear this thing about yourself that your music does not attune to any particular genre at all, right? Does that give you a kick?
It feels nice that I've been able to create something new, but it has its negative things because there are jazz festivals, there is rock festival, there is classical festivals. Now all these festivals I'm not fitting into.
Should we understand it like this, that okay, Susmit in Indian Ocean and Susmit in Susmit Sen Chronicle is different aspects,
There are different aspects.
distinct?
There are different aspects, and there are certain aspects which probably I could not do with Indian Ocean, because every creation also has a saturation point, right? And so what I have been able to do with, like there have been compositions like Depths of the Ocean,
Right.
is a composition which I had composed way before I actually formed the band. But that never came into the band because whatever the reason was.
Sure.
But when I actually did record it and I did publish it, I mean, the amount of critical acclaim that one song has got is something amazing. And then I do want to explore my music in with orchestras.
Okay.
Okay, and I think a lot of my pieces have a huge capability to be exploited with, you know, either chamber or a philharmonic orchestra. So let's see, my next endeavor will probably be that.
Have you been teaching?
No, I have a dislike for the term teaching. To teach, you know, it has a connotation that you are trying to give a person or a child or whoever something that the child may or may not want to learn. Okay, finally the child will learn. That's a different thing. I think guidance is a much
Coaching, guiding.
Guidance is something, and people do come to me for guidance. So, and that also I come to know that how much the person is open, how much the person has already been streamlined into thinking, you know, think in a very narrow way. But there are people who come and I know that, oh wow, this person has much larger mind span
To absorb
to absorb more.
what you have to offer.
Yep.
But I'm curious to know that if you were to say music education, how would you define that term?
Wrong person to ask this question. I have
Which
never
is why
been
I'm asking.
educated.
Which is why.
But
From
my only thing is that when people do teach, and there are teachers, all the technicalities of music, there are technicalities. Like when you are speaking in English or Hindi or Bangla or whatever, there is a grammar to it, right? And that's exactly what we are talking about, technicalities of music. But the best way to learn something like music is the way you learn your mother tongue, right? So when you are growing up in a Hindi speaking family or an English speaking family, if you are not taught the grammar, not this that you would not speak perfect English or Hindi, you will, right? Without knowing the actual grammar, what is how to form a sentence and this, that, and so on. And also, once you have learned to speak a particular language, the technicalities is not there in your mind when you are speaking. You are not going to think about this is the grammar I'm going to use in my next sentence.
I have to use an adjective now
Right.
or an adverb.
Right. So you're not thinking about that. So the way a person should be guided into music is to be able to unlearn those technicalities. Only then the expression comes out.
Last question. What is it the people who would listen to you through this conversation, and especially the young musicians, what would you tell them not to do?
Not to do. Okay, normally people ask me, what would you tell them to do? But not to do. Don't copy.
Don't copy. Stick to what you can do by yourself.
Absolutely.
Please subscribe to our channel and press the bell icon to never miss an update.